So this issue came up in the comments. One guy said that what we do does matter, but eternally speaking, why we do something matters much more. It sounds nice, but it is of the world. And there are many of these things in our thinking that is of the world, and we need to eject from our heads because they're not true. Now, if we look at the sheep and the goats, which is Jesus' last teaching before the Passion is where he goes to the cross, okay? Starting with the Garden of Gethsemane. The last teaching he gives is the sheep and the goats. And in this is a picture of the day of judgment. And he separates out everyone who's ever lived on the earth into sheep and goats. Sheep on the right, goats on the left. And at that moment, you know what your destiny is. And yet he still goes through it anyway. And he tells the sheep that they were righteous because of what they did, even though they didn't know who they were doing it to. Their reason for doing it was simply because it was the right thing to do. And yet he doesn't draw attention to that at all. It's not mentioned. Not at all. Not whatsoever. He just says, what you've done to the least of these, you've done unto me. He tells them the reality behind what they've done. And he does it to reveal their ignorance while they were doing it. That they didn't know they were doing it. They even say, when did we see you hungry and feed you? Meaning they were ignorant of the reality that was there behind the act that they were doing. So the why does not matter in your eternal destiny, according to this teaching of Jesus on the sheep and the goats. What matters is that you did it. And again, teaching after teaching, he draws attention to this, like the two sons. One says, I don't want to go out and work. The other one says, yes, Dad, yeah. And then in the end, the one who said yes didn't, and the one who said no, I won't, did. And he says, which one pleased his father? So it wasn't about why. It was about the fact that they actually did it. You can have good intentions and not do what's right, and you will be damned to hell. But if you do what's right, whether good intentions or bad intentions, but you do what's right, you've done what's right, and you're righteous. John said in 1 John 3:7, my dear children, do not be deceived, meaning men will want to deceive you exactly on this issue, so be careful. This is written for all time. He who does what is right is righteous, just as he is righteous. Does it mention anything about their motives? No, it doesn't. He who does what is right is righteous. It's not about their motives. It's about their actions, that they've done what is right. It doesn't mention motives whatsoever there. Same with the sheep and the goats. It draws zero attention to motive. In fact, the sheep and the goats tries to reveal that they couldn't know who they were doing this to. So their motive couldn't be aligned with the reality that they were doing it to Jesus. And the same is true of the goats who were doing wickedness. The fact is, you've got to do what's right, or you will not be saved. And you've got to do it. You've got to not think it, not believe it, not be sitting around navel-gazing, counting your toes, whatever, plucking your eyebrows. You've got to get out and do it. Stop talking about it. Stop thinking about it. Stop philosophizing about it. Stop arguing with other Christians about it. Get out and do it. Because if you don't, you will be among the goats on that final day. And Jesus will send you off to the place of the devil. It's reserved for the devil. That's what he said to them. But I expect greater things of you. I expect you to actually do what's right. Not just believe that you should do what's right. not just think about doing what's right, but do what's right. May the Lord bless you as you seek Him with all your heart.